All right, we're with Roshan Narayan. Very, very good to see you again, Roshan. You're a father of two now. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. As much as I would like to take the credit, most of it has to go to my wife. She did most of the work.
You were there during the whole process also, you know.
Yes, it takes two hands to clap. I don't want to go into the whole biology aspect of that.
It's a joint venture, let's just say.
It is so true. It's a joint venture, but it's so different if I have to compare the process of being a parent for the first time as compared to being a father for the second time, because my second daughter was born dead smack during the early weeks of MCO.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wow, how was that? So you had to take on the role of mom and dad, especially to your older one, right? During that period?
So we were really fortunate and blessed because I got my sister-in-law to plan my wife's baby shower quite late because some people couldn't make it. So, you know, my in-laws came over from Johor. They were here. We celebrated that we had the baby shower. They were about to leave. Then all of a sudden the MCO was declared. And so they couldn't travel back to Johor. So they were here with us in KL. Oh. And the good news was, and it's a real blessing because when my wife was admitted, okay, so not my gynecologist, what nonsense. My wife's doctor is my cousin. So she called me up very early on and said, see, Roshan, this is a very new thing we're dealing with. We don't know how bad it is, how risky it is. I can't put the doctors at risk. I can't put myself too much at risk because I've got other patients. I know you're my family, but we have to follow protocol. We have to follow every rule in the book when it comes to delivery. So she told me straight up, the rule was, can I mention the hospital that my daughter was born in?
Yeah.
So it was in Pantai KL, and she said, listen, first and foremost, you have to come in 2 days before the delivery to get your COVID test done. It takes 2 days. Back then it was 2 days, and the express version was about 8 hours. I think now they have far quicker tests to be done. So we went and got the test done. And the reason for that, she was saying that, like, see, if my wife or I do test positive for COVID-19, she's going straight to Sungai Buloh. So everything's going to be done in Sungai Buloh. The delivery, my wife will be kept there, my daughter will be kept there. If I'm positive, I'll be kept there, then I have to get my daughter. So all of this is just going on in your background. So she told me this ahead of time. So I was trying to digest all of this and just inform my wife because I wanted her to be relaxed. I wanted her just to focus on herself and the baby and, you know, just not overthink things. So I was just talking to her and I was asking what should be done. She was helping me. And so the day came. So like I said, it was a blessing because my in-laws were here to take care of my eldest. So I was not allowed to leave the hospital once I went in, and no one was allowed to visit as well.
Oh, it was that strict?
Oh, they were really strict. So we went in, and every time because there was 2 points of entry into the hospital, the main entrance and through the car park, just 2 entries. Everything else was shut down. So they're doing the test, temperature test, everything. So we went in. So the test came back negative, thank God. And we're like, okay, we had to. The sad part about being locked down was the fact that when my second daughter Ivy was born, I wanted my first daughter Sasha to be there. No, to welcome her, hug her, kiss her, whatever. Yeah. Just to connect. And that was the most heartbreaking thing for both my wife and myself because she couldn't be there. But you have to be an adult. You just have to tell yourself you've got to get this done. There's no other way. If you're going to keep thinking about it, it is what it is. If you keep harping on it, all you're going to do is affect yourself mentally, and it's going to take a physical toll because the amount of stress you've just placed on yourself. So, like you said, it is what it is. So we accepted what it was. We went in, and unlike the birth of my first daughter, I couldn't be in the OT when my wife was delivering. Yeah. So, this was just, like I said, very early on during the MCO, maybe I think a week and a half, when there wasn't much information out there in terms of contamination. So they were just trying to limit the people in the OT. So only the necessary people were there. So I was like, oh my God. Because the last time I followed my wife all the way in, and JD, I don't know, make you falsy, but I actually looked at my wife's, when she went through a cesarean. So I kept trying to peek up over the little screen because I could see steam coming out. So once again,
Steam?
there's like heat vapor or whatever coming out because you opened up. It's literally the size of your forearm, the amount they've pulled from top to bottom. It's ridiculous.
TMI.
But
I know.
I didn't want to. It's crazy because I was trying to peek, and then my cousin said, like, listen, as a joke, she was saying, if you faint, knock your head and die, no one's going to care. My only priority right now is your daughter, Sasha, and your wife. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah. Then I saw it. I was like, wow. And to be very honest, I knew my daughter, Sasha, would be fine. I was just concerned for my wife, just to see if she was okay. And I just wanted to be beside her. And it was hard not to be there the second time because I don't know. I felt like I wasn't, kind of there for her. Right. So it was hard. Then I was in the waiting room, and
when did you get to see your daughter then?
As soon as the cesarean was done, she was taken up. Then the pediatrician, who was my eldest daughter's pediatrician, was allowed in there just to be there and walk up with the kid to the nursery. So as soon as I could go, I ran as fast as I could. I went and saw my baby. It was so different from the first because truth be told, and I know a lot of people might not believe this because it's coming from a man. I've always wanted daughters. Don't ask me why. I've always wanted daughters. So my dream has come from. I got two. I don't know why. I for the life of me, I have no idea why, but I've always wanted daughters. That's because I have 3 nephews who I really help take care of. And I have an older brother. Then I have 2 older cousin brothers. So I was fed up. I just wanted some girls in the family. And my mom was over the moon because my first daughter was the first girl in our family. So guess what? I was replaced because I was the youngest son. I tell you, the good old days. So I met Ivy. As soon as I spoke to the doctor, I did the whole skin to skin because I think that's very important. And I was also fortunate to do skin to skin with my first daughter as well. Then my wife came back in after a couple of hours. And I know there's a big debate, and I really don't want to get into it because I'm not an expert. But I think the biggest difference between our first kid and our second kid, and can I mention breastfeeding?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Well, unless you're the one who's breastfeeding.
No, bro, I can't roll up, bro. Too much hair. I need to wax, but can't wax also. Okay, never mind. Moving on swiftly. So, the biggest difference was we were more relaxed, and we decided, you know what? I think Bel will understand this. There are the pro camp, and then there's the whole anti camp where it's a big divide, by the way, JD. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So and the pediatrician told my wife, we didn't have him the first time around when my first daughter was born. The second one, he came and said, Roshan, listen, your daughter seems hungry. If you're okay, we can just give her a bit of formula. At least it'll take your wife about 2 hours, then baby can sleep, the mother can rest. You should enjoy the process of being a new parent instead of stressing yourself out too much. Because this was slightly before the delivery date, so she wasn't, the word is expressing. So she wasn't, expressing. So why not, love? So that was the biggest difference. And the biggest difference was it was so peaceful post-delivery. It was unbelievable. So my wife would rest. There was nobody coming in, going out. And I don't mean any disrespect. Of course, the reason why your family's coming over is they want to see the baby. They're so happy for you. They also want to share in the joy, the presence of a new person in the family. And I've always will be, if you know Bel, and you know me quite well, I'm very attached to my mom's side of the family and my dad as well. I'm going to get hammered for that statement. But I always wanted to share that moment with all my family members. But this time around, what I noticed was my wife was so relaxed. When she wanted to sleep, she slept. When the baby came over, the baby could sleep. It wasn't being picked up constantly. My wife didn't need to get up, get ready. Because, bro, I'll tell you something. Women go through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot when it comes to delivery. I don't think anybody can understand that. You can see it, then you feel like, oh my God, is she okay? My wife's a warrior.
It's trauma, right?
And I'm scared of her. I'll just put it out there. But
we do. It's like taking bits of your body out
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah,
So
it's ridiculous. I mean, and you see the pain they're in, and every time somebody comes in, like I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the one thing I'll do from now onwards, after experiencing the birth of my second daughter during the MCO, if any of my friends or relatives have a kid, I will not visit them in the hospital. I'll wait for them to go home for maybe a week or two, or I would say settle down, then I'll go visit them. Because the biggest, when you can ask my wife, it was so different. It was peaceful, and that's the only word I can think of, but not in a negative way. I mean, it would have been helpful, like, we could have taken shifts, and like my mother-in-law comes in, or my mom, or whoever could have done that, like in the during my first daughter's birth. But this was just different. We could rest, we could relax, and the most important thing was my wife could heal. The baby was left alone, and because of that, my second daughter's cycle of the sleep pattern and everything is so different as compared to my first daughter's, which is so weird. I mean, every kid is different, as they say, but it's a blessing, and it was a blessing in disguise, because that's the biggest lesson I will tell to any family member out there. If I know you want to show your express your love for your family member who's just delivered. It could be a nephew, a niece, a grandchild, whatever it is. Just give the mom some time to rest and recover. I'll tell you this. I will
leave him alone, right?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. But
I mean, I'm sure. But I'm sure you faced lots of challenges then after bringing baby home, and it was MCO, and you had to be at home the whole entire day with your kids, especially with a newborn as well. How was that for you? What were some of the major challenges that you had to face?
Major challenges. Okay, like I said, because my mother-in-law and father-in-law were here, we did have physical help. So that perhaps was a big thing for us, because there was 4 sets of extra hands, basically. So my eldest daughter, if she wanted something done, she would have grandma or grandpa to be with her, or I could take turns. We could swap. So there was like literally a rotation system going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I know this might sound fake or whatever, but I really enjoyed it for the fact that, I mean, our working hours are always erratic, correct? The people in our industry, and we have been doing it for years. So me being in the house was not something new, but me being in the house with 2 kids, 3 adults, and a pet was new. So trying to make sure everything was going according to plan took about 3 to 4 days. But like I said, you've got to mentally prepare yourself. It's like you're going in for an exam. If you don't prepare for your exam, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
So you can prepare as much as you can. You're going to get some things wrong, which is okay, which is completely okay. And I think young parents out there should understand it's okay to make mistakes. Just prepare yourself, do some reading, go on YouTube. I mean, watch videos, just listen to other parents, but then digest them and then get ready for what's about to happen. So I already mentally prepared myself, because as I mentioned, my cousin who was a doctor told me, Roshan, this is going to happen, and this is most likely what you're going to go through. So we went, we spoke. The only thing which I can say was, and still is a challenge, is doing the night shift and waking up in the morning for my eldest daughter's Zoom class, which she's 5 years old, which it's like a heavy metal concert. Yeah, I've always done the night shift. So I do from about 11 p.m. to about 4 a.m. But I do sleep. It's like, I mean, it's not like the baby's awake the whole night. Oh, you touch wood, I don't want to jinx myself. So
all these years of preparing for watching Champions League has helped you to do the night shift.
You're absolutely right. It was. It's like there was no football. So, I mean, the funniest thing is, my wife is asleep. I've got either, if I feed the baby, I'll just wait till she is a bit relaxed, then I put her down. Then I'll just watch movies with the volume at 0. And the subtitles really help.
It's a new experience. Reading this movie was great.
Yeah, I know. But the funniest thing, this is not the first time. When my first daughter was born, I watched the entire the show of Arrow, the Green Arrow, all in silent. So I decided after a few years to just like watch it with the volume on, and it was like, oh,
It's a totally different movie, is
so
it?
different. I'm like, wow, the arrows fly through the air. I can hear it.
But
Sacrifices.
how hands-on are you a father?
I said I enjoy being a father, and if you ever need advice, trust me, just ask me. From the colic which everyone's supposedly scared of doing, it really helps with your baby's a bit gassy or whatever, or restless. Just put in the colic hole. I can tell you about sleep patterns, sleep cycles, when the diaper has to be changed before you have to change it.
Were you the first one to change your daughter's diapers?
Wow, that's a good. No, the nurses, I think.
No, because my husband was the first one to change the first one because I was in bed.
You couldn't bend, correct? You're right. I didn't think about that. You're right.
Between you and your wife.
Sorry, am I sweating?
No, you're fine.
We can't see it if you are.
No, I'll tell you why. Because I'm in my bedroom, like I said, because the Zoom class is going on outside. So God bless my wife who's taking care of my 5-year-old. It's so good to talk to adults.
That's exactly what I said.
Oh my God.
MCO, all she's been saying is like, oh my goodness, JD, you know what? I need some adult interaction already.
Yeah, it is. It's so nice to see you all. Can I just touch you? High five through the camera.
But I mean, okay, besides the Zoom class, of course, which is a challenge for you,
yeah.
Have you been working from home? What is the schedule like right now? Yeah.
So the other day when my wife and mother-in-law went to get some groceries done, I had to upload this video, which I was doing of my new show online, and I was trying to edit it. So my daughter wakes up, my newborn. So I'm literally carrying her over my left shoulder. Then my 5-year-old decides she wants a hug. So I'm trying to hug her with my right hand, trying to use the mouse. And then my dog comes and is a bit jealous of the fact that I'm hugging both my kids, and he's lying on his back. He wants his belly scrubbed. So I'm scrubbing him with my leg on his belly. I've got my month-old on my shoulder. I've got my 5-year-old beside me. I'm hugging. And with the mouse, I'm trying to edit. Oh my God. It's a new world.
You're super
I need to get out of the house, bro.
You're super dad.
No, I think every parent out there is a super mom and super dad right now. Because these are uncharted waters, man. It's a bit scary. I need to get out of the house. Just call me over for an interview. I'll come and don't worry. I'll wear a PVC suit, whatever. Just give me a call. I'll just come to your studio.
Unfortunately, we can't get anyone in the studio just yet. So that's why this Zoom call.
Actually, even Bel and I have this 1 meter thing apart. Because not usually we're sitting much closer together.
Oh, correct. You're right. I just noticed.
Yeah.
It's like in school, 1 arm's distance, yeah?
Yeah. Now, as head of the household, did you have to go out to get groceries and get food and all that?
Yeah, that was a bit nerve-wracking.
What was that experience?
That was very nerve-wracking because you knew every time you went out, there was a possibility. You would go to grocery stores that practice all that social distancing. You know, some of them provided gloves, or you took gloves. You had your masks on and things like that. That was very nerve-wracking because first and foremost, I didn't want to buy the wrong vegetable.
Yeah.
Or the wrong fruit.
Right,
you know? Yeah. The pressure was on, bro.
So you don't normally do groceries?
I do, but I'm just normally pushing the cart. Okay. And I'm entertaining my daughter. If she's with me, then she's in the cart with me. I'm just making sure she's having fun, and then my wife picks everything and throws it in the cart gently. So when I went there, I was like, okay, then it was an uneasy thing. Then people, when you're walking past them, just like look at you like, he's too close to me. I'm like, it was very nerve-wracking because you.
Like I said, just that you have kids at home. You have a newborn at home. It's a whole
newborn, and my in-laws are a bit. I don't use the word old, but yeah. And when the news first broke out, like keep your in-laws in the house. Yeah, high risk, and people use the word high risk, but the keyword is everyone says high risk, but the keyword is die, and that is the reality of the situation. You can use the word high risk or social distancing or whatever it is, but the keyword was die. People could die. Your loved ones could die. And that was the scary part. Like, so I had a newborn. I was like, you can't give the newborns medication. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, not heavy duty stuff, unless it's really severe.
Yeah.
They would say, let the process just let the process go on. So going for the grocery shopping was a challenge, but then you'd slowly get used to it. Then there was more information about the whole virus that was coming out. And you like I said, you just have to bite the bullet and do it, because you can either sit in your house and don't do anything and starve and die of poverty, or you go out and you get things done.
Yeah. But the question is now, do you get the right vegetables?
Oh, bro, at first, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to lie. I just went on the WhatsApp video, like, you should, I mean, I'm not that bad, but I was like, is this, because you can check the level of freshness, because at that point, there was another question, how fresh were the goods, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and I now understand why that auntie was taking forever to gauge the tomatoes and the strawberries. Yeah. I mean, so it was okay, but with the WhatsApp video call, I would just like talk to my wife. We would, and you could see a few giggles here and there, and then you'll see some few other guys going and giving
do the same thing.
Yeah, you're giving yourselves a thumbs up. You're like, you just look at him and you're like, okay, bro. You're like, I'm okay, bro. You okay? You safe? You're fine. Don't give up. Just keep going. Another eye, one eye after another.
Post-traumatic shopping disorder.
Yeah, man. I was like, oh my God, is this the right lettuce? Is it fresh?
Right.
But
once I actually bought organic carrots. Do you know how expensive organic carrots are? Yeah. I was like, okay, these are carrots. And then I came home and like, my wife was like, B, why did you buy organic carrots? I'm like, a carrot is a carrot.
A carrot, right?
Yeah. Then then they're like, no, this is like, it's way more expensive. And I was like, okay, let's taste it.
16 ringgit for one.
Yeah. So, and you know what? At the end of the day, they taste the same, organic or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the challenges of going out.
Did you discover anything though about maybe your older daughter after spending so much time with her during this MCO period?
She's really good at maths. That was I mean, and
are you?
Bro, 1 + 1 is 7 for me, bro. So I was like, I mean, that's the one thing. It was surprisingly good. I mean, like I said, I've always been involved with my kids, so this was no different. No matter how crazy my schedule was, even prior to the MCO or when she was born, I would always make sure there was at least about 3 to 4 hours in a day when I was just with her, minimum, doing whatever she wants, painting the whole house, getting shouted at for letting her express herself, by my wife, goes, painting the wall, maybe a no. It is a big no, but things like that. So I like I said, I can't give you a proper answer, because I mean, I know this might come across, this guy's just saying it because he's on radio or something, but I've always been involved with my kids, so I don't know how to explain if there was any difference, because I've always been with my daughter, and she's got my sense of humor and my wife's temper, so
good combo there.
The math.
Good combo. The math.
Yeah.
And my wife's sensibility.
But did you discover anything about yourself as a father?
Oof, that's a deep question. As a father, I can categorically tell you that I hate Zoom calls.
We need to move on from that.
No, bro, you come and sit down for one of these sessions. There's about 14 kids. It's the funniest thing in the world. If you actually watch, I actually watch the Zoom classes because I'm entertained by these 2 kids, her classmates. One's like jumping on the sofa. He's making faces. He's pulling his mouth apart, sticking his tongue out, sitting on his chair and swirling around. It's entertaining. And then you just see the teacher like, breathe in, breathe out.
You have to do that as well, I think. Like,
yeah, I mean, no, like I said, she's a hyperactive kid, which I've got no problems with that. So I take her out for football, I'll take her out for scooter rides or whatever in the car park as much as I could. Later on when the rules were relaxed, but in the house, whenever I worked out in the house, I'd ask her to do some push-ups or some jumping jacks or whatever, just to burn it out. Because listen, cabin fever is a real thing, yeah? Especially when you've got a hyperactive kid, and it does affect you. So I think the one thing that I perhaps have learned is maybe I need to be a bit more strict with my daughter, if that makes any sense. Look.
Oh, so you're the good cop at home.
No, I will discipline her when she needs to be disciplined, but I give her more of a leash, if that makes any sense. So during the MCO, I realized that my wife was right, and I had to be a bit more strict. Because before that, I'll always allow. I don't want to kid my daughter to sit in the corners, be one of those kids that sit in the corner, start rocking back and forth. I don't want her to grow up like that. I want to be expressive. I want her to express who she is as a person. At the age of 3, this is what she tells me, because I always ask her to engaged with me verbally in a conversation. This is what she told me about JD at the age of 3 when she was naughty. Daddy, please wait, listen to me, and then you decide.
Wow.
I was so proud as a father, but in the back of my mind is like, I am so in trouble. And if I was my mom or dad, and if I was her, it'd be either the forehand or the backhand. You know? Let me decide. What nonsense. I'm so proud.
Slightly passive aggressive right there.
Bro, I tell you, it was crazy, man. I tell you, I was like, okay. So if I have to summarize it, I just had to be a bit more strict when she was here during the MCO. But you can't do that to a child, man. These on a normal day, they'll be out running, they'll be in school with their friends for 5-6 hours. They're going to burn up the energy. You know, God bless the teachers. So what do? I think it was very unfair to the child. If she was older, if she was about 7 or 8, or even around the 9, then it's a lot more easier to tell them to adhere to a few rules, because they will understand, but they might not be able to comprehend the situation right now as a 5-year-old. They know what's going on, but they don't really know why it's happening. So I think it was going to be very unfair from my end if I just said no all the time. I got a few gray hairs for this process of mine, by the way, trying to be a bit more relaxed.
But do you think you're closer now as a family after this pause on life, you know?
Well, I think...
And with the arrival of your new baby as well.
So someone, there's a lot of people said, just be careful, watch out for your older one. She's going to get a bit jealous. She's going to be a bit jealous. But I think the age gap was just nice at about 5 when it's going to be 6 soon. Because the moment she came back, I can promise you, I was so pleasantly surprised that she's very loving. She would, she would want to feed her. She would want to carry her. And I wouldn't stop that. I mean, I'll be beside her. I'll be holding Ivy's neck just to make sure it doesn't, I'll teach her how to do it, sit on the sofa. She was very, very loving. At times, there came a point where, I remember this one time where my wife was carrying Ivy, and we both kissed her at the same time. That's what we used to do with Sasha when she was a baby as well. And when she got older, until this day, like before she goes to bed, we'll spend family time together. Then we used to put her in the middle, and my wife and I will kiss her nonstop. She loves that. She'll giggle, and then I'll start tickling her, whatever. So that reduced a bit, and you could see it affect her a bit. So this one time when my wife was just carrying Ivy, we both kissed her, and she said, "That's not fair. You're not doing that to me anymore." And my heart broke.
Wow.
My wife's heart broke. So then we realized, okay, you know what? We need to make more of an effort. Is it easy? No. Was it easy living nonstop? Were there arguments? Were there fights? For sure. It was there. And if anybody says otherwise, they're just lying to you. But the most important thing is, as an adult, you have to understand why you're in that situation. And at times, you just have to, I won't use the word be the bigger person, just take a step back. Let the situation go as it is, and then re-engage later.
Yeah.
That's the only advice I can give. If anybody says they didn't have an argument or things like that, I can promise you I will find it hard to believe, unless you live in a mansion and you've got a west wing and an east wing and a north pole and a south pole, or like a basement and an attic. Then maybe perhaps there was no arguments, because you could socially distance yourself with your family members. But living in a condo, I can tell you there is no such option. You got rooms. We've got enough and more rooms here, but that's the honest thing. Then we practice the one TV rule, which is in the hall. There's no TVs in the bedroom. That, my God, is the problem. I need another TV, bro.
Realization.
That is the biggest challenge. I need another TV in one of the bedrooms, because once she's done with the homework, she gets some TV time. Then my wife wanted to watch her shows. Then my mother-in-law and my father-in-law would want to watch their shows. So I basically got the TV at about 9 p.m., 9:30, when everyone's about to go to sleep. I'm like, okay, I got a couple of hours, but then I have to judge, listen, Ivy's going to wake up at about 12. So do I sleep at 9, or do I stay up all the way till 12, feed her, put her to bed, and then go to sleep? And guess what? That's what I did. So you get 2 hours. So, now it's 3 hours.
Okay.
So, but like I said, Bel, I think I'm a very different case for the fact that for the past 15 plus years, this has been my lifestyle. It's been extremely erratic in terms of working hours. Like JD mentioned, covering the Champions League, which is a football tournament at night, which the game starts at about 12:30 at times or 2:30. You're in the studio by 11. You're going home by 6, 7 in the morning. And then your daughter is waking up at about 7:30 before she goes to school by tapping your nose and say, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I'm going to school." And you're like, "Oh."
But you switched off, yeah.
You're like, you're like the Undertaker, from the WWE. You're sitting up with your eyes rolling back in the back of your head. So yeah, I mean, that's the
But
challenge.
now that we're in recovery movement control order, and maybe you might have to go back to work shortly, your wife as well. Your wife's not a stay-at-home mom, is she?
Yeah, no, she is. We decided a long time ago, because we don't have any help at home. From the very get-go, we moved in together. We decided that we didn't want any help. It was just going to be us. And we spoke about it. I asked her, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yeah, I'm willing to give up," because she and I believe in one thing. And I don't want to sound disrespectful. I think different people have different rules and regulations which they follow in life. But I just didn't want. I don't use the word stranger. I know it's very rude on my part. I just didn't want anybody else who's not a family member to take care of my kid.
Yeah.
And as long as I could practice that, so be it. So Sasha went to preschool quite early, at about when she just turned 2. We sent her to a pre-kindergarten, and then she was there. That was the most heartbreaking thing, bro, as a father. Seeing your girl cry. Then I was texting and this was, she's not there anymore. She's retired.
You sent her? You sent her to the school? The first time?
I sent her. Yeah. I sent her, and then I put it down, and I was like, oh my God, man, my heart broke. She started crying, and I didn't know. I was like, oh my God, I'm letting her down. She was sad. So I went to work, and then I was like, literally on the phone, and the principal just said, "Roshan, don't worry, this is happening. This happens all the time, especially with fathers and daughters. Don't worry." So she would send me videos and pictures of her, but she's crying. So I felt even worse. So that first, sorry, I'm getting emotional, but the first 3 weeks of sending her to school was very heartbreaking for me, because it was my first time I was separated. My wife took it better. Like I said, she's a gangster, so she was fine.
She's daddy's girl. What to do?
I think both are.
Both will be daddy's girl.
But moving forward, it's definitely going to be a challenge, because once again, so once Sasha got a bit older, my wife went back to work. She was back in the cycle. She was enjoying herself, and then, to be honest, Ivy wasn't planned. And once again, she asked me, "Is it okay?" I said, "Fine, for sure, no problem. Whenever you're ready, you go back. I'll take care of everything." And I think that's the most important thing. It's a big sacrifice from her part, which I'll always be indebted to her for. And I think also that I will teach my daughters what a mom did for them. And I mean, that's the thing. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, this woman, why didn't she go back to work? She's important," and things like that. And so be it. But I don't need to be judged by those people, because the most important thing is what my wife and I agree on, because we are both equal. Actually, that's a lie. She's the boss. And we decide what's best for our family. And like I said, she made the biggest sacrifice of giving up her career to be a full-time mom. So that's why as soon as I'm mostly done with work, I rush back as well. So she's not in the house like 12 hours by herself. I'm like I said, I'm just blessed that work as such is different. It's just weird hours. So now, moving forward, once my mother-in-law goes back to Johor, I will do things whereby I'll plan my meetings in such a way that I'm just out of the house for a few hours in batches. So I'll go, come back, go, come back, go, come back. And we'll try and find a formula that works for us moving forward.
So if your wife decides to go back to work, you don't mind being a full-time stay-at-home dad?
Oh.
Yeah, why not? If she could do it, and if she could sacrifice, why can't I?
The Zoom calls though.
Yeah, no, bro.
They'll probably be back they'll probably be back at school by then, right?
They should be. And I think when Ivy is when she starts going to school or nursery, and you get about 5-6 hours, then perhaps if she decides to go back, then so be it. I mean, there's always ways you can think about it. Unfortunately, I got relatives. I mean, my mom lives in another country. My my in-laws are in Johor, so but I got enough and more relatives in and around the KLPJ area. Worst comes to worst, we just find a formula, and that's I think the key. Finding a formula. And once again, I don't mean any disrespect to any parent out there who has to go back to work and leave their kids at at places where kids are taken care of, like babysitting and things like that. Each family is different, and I'll always respect their decisions. Likewise, hopefully, they will respect the decision my wife and I made together.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure you can. Like if it was just you and your two daughters and your dog, I mean, you did it already, so I'm sure you can if you have to, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, right now it's going to be slightly difficult because you're finding that pattern, you're finding that process, the whole timetable, her sleep patterns. And Bel, the moment you think you've got it to a T, the baby sleep pattern changes and it just goes everything out the window, and you're like, whew, here we go again. So, like I said, just accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
And just move forward. Just always look for a solution.
You're a pretty hands-on dad. Would you have any advice to give to dads who are not as hands-on, or probably think that, this is a job for moms only?
No, that is rubbish.
There's some traditional dads who think that way, Roshan.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but I don't believe in it. I wasn't brought up that way. I don't think any of the male members in my family are like that at all. I think my two cousin brothers are extremely hands-on dads. They were a very good example for me to look at. My dad as well. I mean, my dad was really traditional, but when it came to sports or whatever it was, he was always there with me. I mean, my mom was always going to be the rock of the family, but I was always, I don't know, I can't explain that. If you are not hands-on, that's a decision you're made, whatever it is, okay, so be it. But I will just tell you this: there is no greater satisfaction, there is no greater job in the world than being a father. That's all I can say. And it's when I say the job, I'm talking about the fact that it is a role. You have to accept it, but you also have to enjoy it. So I love the fact that I might be like half asleep about 4 o'clock in the morning. My daughters, whenever they were at whatever age, they would make a funny little noise when they were sleeping, and I would giggle. So you've got to accept the little wins there. And like I said, it's a very hard thing to tell a traditional man, because he's brought up in his roles and his values in life. So I mean, it's very hard to explain it. It's like explaining something to a person who's never tried ice cream, as long as they're not got IBS. I mean, if they don't have IBS, then it's fine. But if you've never tried ice cream, I can never tell you how good it is. If you've never tried chocolate, I can never tell you how good it is. If you have never scored a goal during a game in football, I can never tell you the joy you will get by experiencing it. And that's the only thing. So if you decide, I know I've got good friends, are very traditional dads. Excuse me. A good friend of mine, his wife just delivered. The wife's in the mother's house for a month, and he's not there every day. So I can't relate to that. And like I said, I no disrespect. It's, you have to do what's best for you. My wife's best friend, who's in Johor, just delivered, and they had a confinement lady come over for a month for her. And for us, we had a mother-in-law, and when I sat down with the husband, I was like, just do this. You could see it's quite scary, the first time when you carry a baby. But like I said, I was quite fortunate that I had my nephew, so they were the test dummies for me. I love all three of them. So I can't explain it, bro. It is the most rewarding experience in life for me, being a father and being a hands-on father. I love it. I love every minute of it, including the Zoom calls.
Well, thank you very much, Roshan, for that chat.
No, just keep talking. I don't want to go back. Just keep talking.
Well, unfortunately, we have another interview lined up after this, so we have to.
No, they're not important. Just leave them alone.
Take me away from these 5-year-olds, man.
Now you have to go back to the Zoom calls. But thank you so much for speaking to us, and happy Father's Day in advance.
Oh, thank you very much, Bel.